Hello and welcome to First Player Marker. It is the 1st of January 2020, so Happy New Year!
2020!
I am Neil, to my right is my son Joel.
Hello.
And to my left is my daughter Ruth.
Banana!
Put it back.
And today's video is all about the last 365 days, which was 2019. It's going to be about our favourite games that we've played or experiences that we've had in gaming in general. We don't know what each other has got on the list, so we're going to hear some surprises. We'll do a very short explanation of what's on there and why. So to kick it off with his number 10 is Joel.
Right, my number 10 is was actually on video.
Okay.
On the channel, I think. It was a playthrough of Battleship Shuffle when I discovered my raging stick.
Yeah, okay. I'd completely forgotten about our experience of doing that and me whooping you behind. That was hilarious. Okay,
Only narrowly winning.
Right, my number 10 is not a single experience. So my wife and I enjoy playing the game Splendor. And I went on something of a winning streak. Like about 8 games or so. In our
And Mum
two-player.
refused to stop playing or sleep until
that's
she
not
beat
true.
him.
That's not true.
For about 4 games.
We went away on holiday to France. We played it on France several times, and I won every one. And on the ferry on the way back, I won again, and she refused to not to put it away and made me play a second time. And she won that one, but I think she was prepared to keep playing until
She won.
Until the ferry docked, until she won again. I didn't let her win. She did beat me legitimately, but it was quite a long winning streak. Ruth.
Right, so my number 10 is actually Dad opening up his board game cafe in Sutton. Well, Bournemouth. And, well, it happens every month. I don't normally want to go, but...
Then why is it in your list?
It's because it's an experience for others, and I feel like...
Yeah.
it
You've had
means
some
that.
You've had some nice times with a couple of
Yeah.
your friends at it, haven't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. Number 9.
My number 9 is a mixture of different games, all relating to one feeling that I have, which is the pleasure of seeing your favourite themes being rolled into board games.
Yeah.
So I've played plenty of games over this year that are other games or completely new games that are based off a theme and another game.
Yeah.
Or not.
So
like Harry Potter Double,
Yeah.
Star Wars Risk, Codenames Disney, Harry Potter Funkoverse, which I haven't played yet, and Hogwarts Battle and stuff like that.
Hogwarts Battle, I suppose. You say Disney code names, didn't you?
Yeah.
But Villainous.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few things. Joel's got 3 particular
Favourites.
intellectual property themes that he really likes, and there's quite a few games he's played with those.
Disney stars.
My number 9, it relates to another game that I played away on holiday. This time it was in the Netherlands, and it was a game of Dominion Intrigue. And Dominion is a favourite of mine and my wife's. We play that a lot 2-player. But I won a game of Dominion Intrigue, which was so tight, it was a 1-point result. And it just really stood out for me as a big experience.
Dad, haven't one time I played you when we drew and we had to do, and you won by a tiebreaker? How?
I think that has happened. Yeah.
Don't start with so.
Ruth.
So my number 9 is the gaming cafe in Warmley. Another gaming cafe, basically. I don't normally play there. I normally muck about and play with friends on the top. But there is those times when you do get to play the games. Again, it happens every month. But it's quite fun. It's run by Dad's friend.
Yeah, it's run by a fellow called Ben Cook, whom you may know as one of the 2 hosts of the podcast Shuffle and Play. I know that I'm giving him a shout out on this. I'm expecting to get one out on his podcast. Actually, that'd be quite nice. We're gonna at some point do a video with Ben as a guest. I haven't decided exactly what we're going to talk about yet.
Ruth, just saying. You always get to play games there. You just don't choose to.
Okay, number 8.
My number 8 was my first board game club at my school, where I loved it. I think I play it's a 2-hour club. I played for an hour and a half as a game of Star Wars Risk. And for the last half hour, I played a game of Lost Cities with the same person that I had been playing Star Wars Risk with, but still, it was very fun. And then I helped pack away a game that was going on another time. And next time I go to board game club, I will be playing.
My number 8 is a very wide-ranging thing. Joel told me to pick individual things, but I can't, and that's the whole of the UK Games Expo 2019.
I picked individual.
If you want to know my highlights of that, then we did a video about the UK Games Expo 2019, and you can search that out.
Plushie!
And that was where the phrase plushie first came into usage.
And you forgot to do that this video.
That's what she didn't bring plushie this time. 8. Ruth?
My number 8 is actually the first time I played Dixit. It's an amazing game.
You didn't play Dixit for the first time in 2019, though. You played Dixit Odyssey for the first time in 2019.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. It is an amazing game, which we already know, but Odyssey felt like you could have more of a chance of
winning points.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Okay. 7.
My number 7 was another video that we did on this channel. Our first one, actually. Discovering my top 10 games of all time, which has probably changed by now.
Oh, it will have unquestionably changed. Mine has.
Yeah.
And actually, we've got kind of a crossover here, because my number 7 is starting this YouTube channel. And as that was the first video, I consider that to be a double crossover, don't you?
Yeah.
Number 7, Ruth.
My number 7 is Retro Kart at the Games Expo.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure whether it's actually been published, but me and Dad went over because it's one of those tests.
It was a play test.
Yeah, and we played it, and it is it's very fun, and you've got some sort of competition in it. And it's racing, and some people like racing, so I think it's a good game.
Good.
Like the game.
Hopefully, it's been published.
The other day.
Number 6.
My number 6 is also at the UK Games Expo, and it is the Bring and Buy, where I bought several of my favourite games, including Village Pillage, Star Wars Timeline, which is quite fun, although for a Star Wars nerd, quite easy.
The finding of Village Pillage was a big deal, wasn't it?
Yes.
That's on the UK Games Expo.
And there are several that I haven't actually played yet, like Marvel Dice Masters.
Yeah. My number 6 is a game. It's a game that I played for the very first time this year.
I forgot about it. Along with his number 1.
And it's the game Planet. Joel actually rated this as one of his top 10 games of all time. And it's a game where you put 5-sided magnets onto a 12-sided sphere, and you build your own planet and compete for animals, and it's great. I had an almost visceral reaction about how much I liked the tactility of this game, which rather surprised me. And yes, we do own it. We now own it because I bought it with some of my birthday money in July. 6.
My number 6 is Winning Potion Explosion.
When did you win Potion Explosion?
I don't remember this.
I'm
pretty sure you did.
I was working with Mummy.
That makes more sense.
Ruth does quite a lot of. Can I work
Working.
with somebody when she plays games?
Sometimes when
Especially
I
games.
guess yes, you did. You did win that game of Potion Explosion. Yes, you did. Potion Explosion is the marble matching game.
really fun. I would recommend it.
We should play it more often then, shouldn't we? I didn't know you thought it was really fun. Right. We're now halfway through. We've done our 6 to 10, and now we are on to our top 5. So starting with your 5, John.
My number 5, I was very surprised this got so high up, because on my possibles list, I put this on as a sort of joke, because I found the first game that my cousin does not have analysis paralysis on. But it was actually really fun. Sitting in a Minecraft queue, waiting for a server, and playing Dobble with my cousin about
A week ago.
a massive Dobble marathon. We played about 20 games.
Wow. It's a good job, actually, he hasn't got analysis paralysis on this, because he would lose. You cannot have analysis paralysis on Dobble.
He lost 12 times, I lost 8.
Oh, it's fairly balanced.
Analysis paralysis, in case you don't know, is when like somebody's really slow at something. Like
It's slow at taking their turns because they overthink them. You cannot overthink Dobble.
No.
My number 5 is another game that I played for the first time this year. And since playing it way back in January for the very first time.
A week ago I first played it.
I've played 5 or 6 times. I also found it for the bargain price of £10 new, still in its shrink in a charity shop, which further elevates it up the list, and that is Century Spice Road. A great game about collecting cards, playing cards, exchanging cubes, and using those cubes to buy points. Number 5.
my number 5, is actually the Games Expo.
Your turn for the Expo.
The whole Games Expo.
I didn't put the whole Games Expo on, I just put 2 sections.
Anything you want to add about that, or just say watch the video?
Plushy. Watch the video. Because Plushy does not like people who do not like the video. Also people who eat ketchup, who eat tomatoes, who live
Then they don't like
a
you.
greenhouse.
Okay, moving on. Number 4. Okay, on to number 4. Joel.
My number 4 is a game we have played 3 times as a family before. Losing twice, and conveniently, the time Ruth quit halfway through, we lost by 1 lightning strike. Neville Longbottom quit the team of Hogwartians in Hogwarts Battle about half a week ago, and it made me rage. And it made us lose by a lightning strike.
Yeah. I think future games of that, it's just going to be Ron, Hermione, and Harry. I don't think you're going to play again, are you, Ruth? Are you going to play a game with it?
Probably not.
You enjoyed the first 2. My number 4 is the most recent event it could possibly have been, because it's been less than 24 hours since this happened. And it was New Year's Eve last night.
We were in another room.
We had friends round for dinner, and the adults had a meal in this very room. And then after we'd eaten, we played the Think Fun Escape the Room Mystery at Stargazer's Manor. Now, Mystery at Stargazer's Manor, we had an absolute blast last night, the 5 of us who were sat around the table. It was just elegant. It really worked very well. It was good fun. We could all contribute. Probably my top experience playing one of the escape rooms, even if it wasn't the hardest one going. But we thoroughly enjoyed it. Number 4, Ruth.
My number 4, for calling birds, is meeting Andy Hotword and playing Darren Dust Bunnies. It is really fun.
Yeah.
And he lost.
Yes, you can see that video. So yeah, Andy Hopwood's game Daring Dust Bunnies. It was, you know what, that will probably be my 11. Having forgotten to include that. Sorry,
But that would
Andy.
probably be 13 for me.
Okay, our top 3 now. Joel.
My number 3 was also a game we played last night, just without the adults, after watching a film and deciding let's play a game. I played a card that was so funny that 3 out of 5 of us couldn't stop laughing for about 3 minutes.
What was that game?
And that was our weird playthrough of Say Anything.
Yeah, good game, Say Anything. Can be very, very silly. My number 3 took place in April, and it was the family games event that I run through our church.
Real life church.
Whoop, whoop.
We had about 70 people sign up to come along via Eventbrite. I'm not sure all of those numbers turned up, but we had a very strong turnout, lots of families, and at one point I looked around and every table had people playing it, and there was 12, 13, maybe even 14 tables that were actually laid out ready to play at. I was so pleased with how it went. It was a really, really good event, and we'll be running again around about the same time this year. I haven't decided exactly when it will be, but we will be running one again, and it is free. So if you are local and are subscribed, stay tuned because we'll probably mention it at some point. Ruth.
My number 3 hens is actually Stone Age.
Oh.
Is it?
Winning Stone Age.
Did you win Stone Age?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
I did.
I'm absolutely sure she
I
did.
thought you won.
I thought I wiped the floor with it.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, I could check on the game app.
yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
Wait, was this on holiday? No, we didn't do it on holiday.
Sure.
Well, never mind. She won
Check
Stone Age,
afterwards.
apparently.
I thought it was
think I
him.
did.
Or
Or-
mine.
or
Good
at
worker
least-
placement game.
Or at least I was working with someone.
Maybe.
What?
I'm pretty sure I did it by myself.
Okay, I will check the stats. I may write something on the screen below. Okay, number 2 then, Joel.
My number 2 is an escape room that Dad cooked up for us on New Year's Eve again. Again.
Last night.
Yes. And it was very, very fun. We all uncovered at least one of the
I think
tasks.
that's true.
And I think Ruth and Elizabeth, who was the oldest one, both worked out 2, one of which they both worked out at the same time.
Which one was
So-
that?
Hair dryer one.
So,
The girls recognise the hairdryer more than the boys. That probably says many things.
so
That's your number 2.
that's my number 2.
It's not going to take me long to do number 2 because mine's exactly the same thing.
But it was him
But
making
obviously
it.
it was me who made the escape room, using some ideas from other escape rooms I've done. A couple of things lifted from the Crystal Maze television show, which my wife once appeared on. You can look out for that. And there were 5 children, there were 6 puzzles to do, and I was so pleased with how they really did work together to solve it, and that everybody contributed. It was great.
Ruth?
Your number 2, Ruth.
It's the same.
No, you've gone for the same thing as number 2.
A triple mega crossover.
I'm sure we've all got very different things at number 1.
Impossible.
A homemade escape room has managed to make number 2's experience on all 3 of our lists. That's quite something. It only leaves us then to look at what our top event or game or experience has been over the course of the entire year. Joe.
My number 1 is probably the most time I've ever spent with Dad at one time for a good year or so.
What's that?
That was the Saturday Games Expo, and it was just you and me having fun, and it was my favourite part of the Games Expo. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh. He wants something. My number 1.
I did this morning.
My number 1 is a game. It's a game that I backed on Kickstarter. It's a game that I led a group pledge on Kickstarter.
This would either be 11 or 12 on my list.
And it's the game Awkward Guests. So this is the game Cluedo
Murder
could
mystery.
have been. You're solving a murder. There are 242 cards in total, but you only ever use 70 of them, and an app tells you which 70 to use, and you will always end up with a different murder case to solve. It is so well designed. It is brilliant, isn't it? Absolute genius
Ruth hasn't
design.
played it.
Ruth hasn't played it yet, but I'm sure she'd enjoy it. The cards tell you what you've got to do, and you're basically trying to solve the murder faster than anybody else. So that's awkward guests.
My number 1 is and a partridge in a pear tree. So it is this YouTube channel.
Oh, this YouTube channel. Okay.
Oh.
That's really your number 1. Well, she's gained fans out of this. I'm sure some of you are. Well, that's already been mentioned. The YouTube channel, you're watching it right now. So, all that remains is to thank you for watching.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Come.
Even though he's not on screen.
Yeah, he's already out getting people who aren't subscribing, I think.
Click the bell.
And
subscribe.
I don't know what our next video is likely to be, but having consulted with Joel, that Pokemon playthrough may not happen.
It will happen. You never consulted with me, you liar.
I hate Pokemon Game Plus.
So thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.